So we need to warm up.
Yep. Warming up.
Oof, I do links.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you're
There's no nice way, easy way to like automate all this, all this sharing.
yeah. It's okay. These are the stuff normally someone off camera is doing while the other person is just blah 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 blah. Pew, pew.
Oh my gosh, what's happening?
Andre is on YouTube. Mitch has also joined on Facebook. Yay!
I'm just getting the YouTube link.
Mm-hmm.
So Tobie, do your guys a
No.
pelikula impersonation.
No, I don't know if we'll ever cover it.
Wow. Okay.
Only because it's sensitive.
Sensitive talaga.
Yes, Nico, this is a Lego episode.
Yeah, we just talk Lego.
Ito ang bitawan mo ko episode.
So we wore these shirts because Tobie says it's the closest we've got that the flowers kind of look like Lego flowers, and you know what I mean, right? The flat circle flowers that you have to put on the green stem.
I mean, it's either this or Puking Rainbow, which I can sort of imagine built in Lego pieces.
But you can argue anything can be, built out of Lego. Ayan, nahay na ko ka na ni Nico for your Lego pun.
Hey, Karen. It's 9:13. I guess we start.
We can wait for 9:15.
Sige, we'll wait for 9:15.
We were just talking that these shirts are super. I mean, this is from the Old Navy summer collection, so the collar line's quite low.
Yeah,
This is the first button,
and I guess they're really meant to be summery,
Yeah, like
suntan lotion, drink in hand, white shorts.
here pretty good. Wear yellow para minifig. Wala kaming yellow. But it could be a good.
Magpapahepa muna kami.
So wrong.
Yeah, the shirts are still nice. It's just that we're not used to. What are you doing?
No, this thing's like, nakatayo. What's that? It's a down.
It's a weird color. There's
no button.
button for the topmost. Yeah.
By design.
Ay nako. Let's stop fiddling with clothes. Hindi pa siya 9:15. Hindi pa pwede.
So, GSP impersonation?
No!
You were just doing it right before we started.
Because that will be we'll just stare off camera for a few minutes and not do anything.
Bow! Bow!
Not that that's what they do in the movie or the series.
Ay, nako. Okay, we start.
I will not comment further because this is Tobie.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, a little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
It's completely unscripted, not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us. We talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. Our episode tonight is all about a childhood toy that um, we love and still love and realize is very expensive. But we will talk all about it in this episode, and that is
Lego. It was Toby's idea to talk about this actually, because it was a busy Friday. We had gone through a better part of the day not talking,
Mhm.
just around our respective
Just
computers.
super busy. Everyone doing their own little thing. Sorry, there's someone who Leviathan.
It's Nigel.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, so Kenny has joined us as well. But today's topic is Lego, and this will be everything from our encounters with it, the sets we played, our good memories, and
Mhm.
horrible memories, if any of them, the ways they were weaponized, as well as how they're awesome gifts. What?
Weaponized.
That's my story.
Obviously, weaponized. Okay.
Oh, yeah, si Yurim nagmumura na. Gundam! Anyway, so...
Oh my God, Nico canceled his meetings though for this point.
Okay, so let's start with how did you start with Lego?
Oh my God, that's a actually you should start because my story is a little heavier. I think I don't know. I feel like mine's heavy.
It's okay. Unless you want me to start.
No, that's fine. Well, okay, my very first Lego set that I consciously remember is kind of super tied into my first trip to the US.
Mhm.
So short background is that my mom had gone ahead, and so we hadn't seen her for a while. So when we finally followed in LA,
Mhm.
of course, it was super jet lagged, and then the very first thing that we did was because I couldn't sleep was that she gave me this little space Lego set, and
Mhm.
I built it right then and there in the gloom. Probably not great for my eyes, but that was like my very first set. So it's super tied into like that whole experience of this is how uh, I got to see my mom again. Suddenly we're in a different country, and I'm building a Lego spaceship. And I think that's also what endeared me to Lego Space
Mhm.
more than any other Lego line. I super invested in space more than anything. All right, so what's yours?
Mine, I was trying to look for it and I'm weirded out because I can't find it. So,
I'm gonna find mine.
growing up with my brother, the early ages of getting into Lego, so we had a lot of those classic sets as kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the castle being yellow bricks
Yeah, that's pretty
with
old.
with the triangular.
When the castle was still yellow,
And that's why I'm like,
quite
because all
old.
I keep finding are the gray castle bricks. And we had the yellow castle bricks. I even remember it had those holes for the thread pulley system in order to raise and
The
lower
moat.
the
Mm.
drawbridge. So we had the castle set, we had the fireman set, which was the city set with the fire truck. We had the ambulance, which was the white the white ambulance with the walls with the lots of glass.
Okay.
We had the classic space sets, which was the blue, white. I think it was blue, white, black, and red astronauts, if I remember correctly. And what made them so cool was that they had those transparent visors that you could bring up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of those classic sets, and of course the policeman set, which had the boats and those really awesome heavy counterweights that allowed you to literally put them and let them float in water. So we had those, and we were just so into Lego. We at the risk of making people who collect Lego panic. We had everything in a balikbayan box because literally that was how much Lego we had.
Okay, that's a lot.
We had so much Lego that whenever we'd play, we'd turn over the box and it would spill all over the floor, and we just keep building. We love the fact that there were all those I forgot what you call it, those play mats. So you had the moon,
The base plates?
yeah, base
Okay.
plates. There you go. You had the moon base plate, you had the city base plate. The castles were just the green base plates, and we would build and we would just create And at first we would create, of course, what was written, but later on we started creating our own stuff, devising our own games, and coming up with our own crazy ways to play Lego. But Lego was so much of our childhood in terms of what we played. Even to the point that when we started having toys like G.I. Joe, He-Man, and the like, we would still use Lego to build sets around them
Okay.
or make sets for them, which will eventually lead to the weaponized Lego that I will talk about later. But
This is a concern. This is honestly a concern. What have you been doing?
yeah, there, those classic spacemen. But yeah, Lego was such a huge part of our childhood. And there would always be those instances of us being, yes, the white and the yellow spaceman. We would be so excited to build what we can. And we had the joy of building stuff in the room and then leaving it there. So the help wouldn't touch it, but occasionally they would, and then they just toss it back in the box, which would freak us out. But like on bookshelves, we would have bridges between books and stuff like that, or we'll have this road that winds around under the bed for the cars. So yeah, Lego was such a huge part of our childhood.
Wow. Okay, that feels like more in depth than mine. But then,
Mhm.
but then, and it's funny because I guess for me that Lego was always more my thing than like something I shared with my sister. Although we did have a few like more generic sets. I know we had one of those like basic builder ones that made a house, and then we had a racetrack set,
Mm-hmm. This one,
which was like
1995 Racer.
no, definitely earlier than that. You're looking at very small sets.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out. We didn't do prep for this obviously in terms of preparing.
We went through Duplo as well, but that was
Didn't
because
touch Duplo.
since we were playing with Lego, for Tracy,
Mm.
they made sure that there was Duplo.
Mm.
And then at that time, we already started to expand on Technic. And with Technic, we started with the hydraulic ones. And I think we didn't really have the battery powered one till much later. Because I remember the hydraulic ones, I really liked the fact that it was all these rubber hoses and you plug them in and find that other one, and then you find a way to when you press this one extends. So you find those little ways to interconnect things and make your own claw.
First, we've hit 10 viewers.
Yay!
For a moment. It's gone now.
Thank you, 10 viewers.
Wait, Nico shares set 6075. Does that mean this is your first Lego set? Which is the Wolf Pack Tower set. It's pretty cool. It was a
That looks
distinct castle
cool.
one. Yeah.
Oh my god, there it is. 6075-2.
Oh, that's what you had.
Yes,
This yellow
that's the
castle.
one we had with the arches and the no. Yes.
Oh my god. Okay,
Oh my gosh, that was
we're
it.
surfing at the same time. And then a lot of people, said they never owned actual sets.
Mhm.
So, Nikki had Castles in Space.
Mhm.
Karen never owned a set, but had the Cat Lady minifig.
Mhm.
Nikki's like never had real life sets. So, what were the Castle in Space? Or they just how does that interrelate? And then Nigel's first set was a blue bucket of assorted bricks and a minifig.
Mhm.
Yeah, the assorted sets were kind of cool, but then like a bit of a challenge and like, go build something.
Mhm.
Noel says he can't bring himself to open and assemble his Lego, and it should be enjoyed and assembled now, but he likes staring at the box. Andre also had no sets, but then brought those blocks that were like in a bucket. Okay. He's 6075 as the Yellow Castle. There's multiple sets that are tagged as 6075. So there's
Yeah.
60751, 60752, which is funny. But yeah, so Tobie definitely had the Yellow Castle. I don't date all the way back.
Mhm.
For me, it's like there were those things, and then I think it was only like when I was in school that I started to seriously get into it, and then I kept collecting space.
Mhm.
So I hence the Blacktron Strider, which I super loved. I played with that one for so long, and then when they introduced the factions to space,
Mhm.
then I got very excited and very eager to collect them. but budget. So I could not get too many. And it's funny because I was also doing Transformers in the early days, but then it was which became like my lifelong conundrum. I love
Mm-hmm.
Lego and I love Transformers. I cannot afford to collect both at scale. And then my problem with Lego, as you talked about a lot of creativity and whatnot, I followed instructions, built the set as directed, and never broke them apart as much as possible,
Ooh, okay.
which makes it a tremendous storage problem. It didn't help that I forget if it was a birthday or a Christmas that I got the Blacktron Spy Base set, which was two base plates, and a lot of ships,
Exxon.
and
Yeah. Go on.
and it was like, oh my god, I kept trying to store it complete. So I kept the base box, the yellow box that the Blacktron base came in,
Mhm.
and then I would always like this is it was a plate with a ramp, so it was like elevated, and then the
Mhm.
other plate is flat, and then I would always like put the flat plate under so that I could fit them all into the box. Then I'd also fit in my other ship. I tried to fit all the Lego in that, which is the origin of like the the bin that I've endorsed to Nico. This is really the set that I barely tried to break up as much as possible. There were accidents here and there, but I really I don't know. I like building them as is and then keeping them together.
Mhm.
Um, it was in later grade school that I started to get into Technic because it had that feeling of um, Technic had a higher age rating,
Yes.
right? And then you're only supposed to be playing Technic at a certain age. And then when I hit that age, I'm like, I need to graduate to Technic and I need to start getting Technic sets. And I got hovercraft, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
It was a Technic hovercraft. And it felt really good. Like, ooh, I can build this. The sets are very different, the way they work and all that. But I still like the Lego space sets and I want minifigs. There's something really boring about the Lego Technic man. He feels very crash test dummy.
Mhm. Well, ako, I like the Technic guy because it allowed me to celebrate my love for shows like Centurions. With all
Okay,
the
that's fair.
with the pegs in the sides of the legs, I was able to find ways to have stuff connect to the body and stuff like that. I was able to find the specific technique that we had, which was this one.
Pointing won't help.
So we had,
8860.
which was the car chassis. It allowed you to build a car wherein the steering wheel turned the wheels, and then you could adjust the seats. And oh my god, I love this one so much. And I remember hurting myself so many times, poking myself with the gear system. I'm looking for the other one, which was that crane-like system that had the pumps.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I remember having that. I remember we had this Exxon set as well. And what I loved about the Exxon set were the gas pumps because they had those little hinges that work similar to the drawbridge system. Um, and then my brother and I were so into cartoons at that time. So we started recreating cartoon stuff with our Legos. We built our own Robotech fighters that could transform.
Okay.
We built our own Transformers and Mask vehicles that could transform as well. Um, at some point, we even started building our own band members. So the Lego minifigs, we'd glue cotton on their
What?
heads, and then we'd color it with pencil pens. So you'd have a light green hair and this and that. And then we started with pencil pen to draw on the minifig faces. So there'd be a guy with shades, there'd be a guy with beards and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
We were just having so much fun personalizing them in our
I
own way.
cannot. I cannot. I cannot. I was not the type to do these things to the Lego figures. Uh, I'm I'm sorry. I'm also low key annoyed that I can't find my first Lego thing. Like I can't figure out which one it was. And I'm probably misremembering details, and that's why. So it's frustrating. I keep skimming through all the different ones. I just know it was a tiny set. Um, and I'm probably getting it totally wrong because I keep thinking I had a blue spaceman, but maybe I did. Maybe it wasn't blue. Nigel shares that he was really into Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, so the Adventurer set was a perfect thing. Yeah, there was like good feedback for the Adventurers line when it first came out. But in terms of technique, he's super like Bionicle. I never got to try Bionicle. I saw it, I was kind of intrigued, but at that point, one, I was older, and then two, I'm like, I'm paying my own money to buy Lego, so therefore I have to focus on Transformers.
Mhm. I admit I didn't reach the adventure sets and the like. At that time, I already had moved on to other toys.
Mhm.
But I do remember getting so impressed when I started to see other IPs appearing in Lego. Because it
And it
just
started with Star Wars.
yeah, and it just felt so out there. It felt so unexpected to see other game or other lines being having their own Lego stuff. I'm still looking for the stuff. Wait, wasn't this yours, the Astro Dasher? No.
It could have been that. I'm not sure. But I feel like it had kasi a solid blue piece na at the front. So that's why I'm like confused as to which one it was. Oh my god. And then I think, was it this? I think it's this.
The
Yeah.
racers.
The race set we had was Lego set 6381. Let's find it in Wikipedia. 6381. Motor Speedway, released in 1987. Yes, the year is just about right. Oh my god. Because some of these guys survived. Oh yes. Okay. It's this. And Nico of course says like he loves minifigs. He doesn't buy sets that don't have at least one included. Yes, we have noted this. And then
The International Space Station does have mini figures.
yeah, which is a good thing, right? Because I was super worried when we got that set. Like, it's just a model set, but no, there was a super tiny minifig.
Yeah, so space. I remember we had these. So we had the walking Astro Grappler, which was the one with it had the
tentacle.
Yeah, the Doctor Octopus type of arm thing. We had the Gamma Laser Craft, which was those two ships, which was awesome. And then we had the solar power transporter, and I remember this so much because it had that weird triangular piece, and then it had the interlocking piece for the trailer system, which was an interesting one.
I found the hovercraft.
Oh wow, that looks cool.
Technic 8824. Ooh, that was good. I kept that together for the longest time, and then I think a cousin dropped it. So, oh wow, and I just like all these minifigs have names. He still remembers what they are, and there's a lot of them. I didn't get that far, although to be fair, so the racetrack set I mentioned, the Motor Speedway, that came with a good number of minifigs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. I can't remember now, but I know I named all 5. And then the guy in the red overalls I called Kit for some reason because he would look like a repairman. And they featured in many other adventures. And then I'm pretty sure in the Lego I gave to Nico, those minifigs are still in that set. So most of the minifigs from that set are from the Motor Speedway set. Yeah.
Oh wow, I think this was it.
Oh, that looks cool. 8868 AirTech Claw Rig.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there it had that pneumatic system, which I so loved using.
Then jumping around, like I think that's also what got me so excited when the Lego movie came out because Benny, the Lego's blue spaceman, had the broken helmet piece, which is like every freaking if you had that helmet, whether it was for space or for the racetrack set, they used the same helmet.
That part would snap.
Near the jaw would always snap eventually.
It was that weak spot.
Yeah, and then to show that detail in the movie just got me super crazy and like, oh my god, I miss my Lego space.
A large part of it is because when you take the helmet off, you actually pull it and then
so that you have to wiggle it,
pushes against the headpiece and it breaks. Oh my god,
it was super breakable. Okay,
so Lego, we have of course all those stuff that we build. We eventually get to the weapon wars, which
you have to explain this weapon war
So my brother and I were, as mentioned,
I'm gonna do one last attempt to find the ship.
we were
Sorry.
building a lot of the stuff based on shows we like. We started this game of building cars that we'd crash into each other.
Okay.
And the idea was, we'd have the surface. I'd hold my car and his car, and then on three we'd smash them together,
Oh my god.
and we'd keep doing this until the driver on our respective cars flies out.
Yeah. Okay. You told me the story, but we are documenting the story now.
So
online on the show.
until a driver flies out, the game continues.
And these were Technic drivers or minifigs?
These were minifigs, but we were allowed in our rules to find ways to build and secure them better.
Okay.
So we had everything from making a really enclosed coffin, which makes it more brittle because the moment impact happens, the pieces start to loosen.
Mhm.
Later, we started to come up with different ways wherein there'd be these little cages that will form, or we will use the bars with the Technique system to act as a seat belt. But the winner, which my brother came up with, was he used Technique bricks, so with the holes, as the front of the car, then reinforced it to connect to the car. And then on that front part with all the holes, he'd use those pegs and then connect the Technique wheels. So he had shock absorbers.
Ah.
And it
Okay.
was so annoying because I could not build anything anymore that would go and beat his shock absorbers. So science won the day, and I lost all the future Lego wars from that point on.
Really? So like that was it. That it was like the peak design, and then nobody ever beat it. Okay.
But that's not when I used weapon as a weapon, Lego as weapons. That's a different story. But let's go back
That's
to
still
you.
a different story. Wait, I'm like I'm still trying to find my dude.
Still can't find it.
Yeah, yeah. I have to accept that my first Lego dude wasn't blue, I think. But I know the ship was. And then it was one of those really tiny ones. So it was a single minifig type thing. And I am running out of ships to look at. I can't remember if it was a ship or if it was a vehicle like with wheels. I'm beginning to suspect it had
Was
wheels.
something like this.
No, I'm not sure.
You remember a blue piece?
Yeah, the medyo triangular at the front.
This.
Yeah, something like that. Or no, it was. I think it was more distinct because it had a wheel assembly, but it was super tiny. It wasn't like these long
And not
trailer
this.
ones we're seeing. No, not that either.
Because this looks like Benny's Space Squad.
But that sounds too new. Because this was like what 1984, 85.
There are.
Possible, but when did that come out? The show has stopped because of this search. I'm so sorry. Determination.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Lego was such. Oh, I love this chair. Because it allowed you to connect stuff in the back and then this robot. My brother and I used to always argue over those round transparent pegs and these switch systems because we could always use them to make our own lightsabers and make our own god systems. And yeah.
Nigel's like gonna check if helmets if they snap. I think it's a particular vulnerability of the classic space helmet from the 80s. So beyond that, it may not be so bad. Okay, so I had a good Lego set run in terms of like I had some pretty big sets, and I got to sample different parts of space. I obviously had a lot of Blacktron, and then I got Mtron, which is like, oh my god, there are magnets. So yay, Mtron ship. There were magnets for that. And then it was only much later on that they had like a robot line that got me excited, which I think was Spyrius, where they just added giant robots into Lego space.
I wasn't on Lego anymore at that point.
Yeah. So, but then at one point I just stopped and then just like, let's finish school and let's focus on other things. And then I was still wanting to get Transformers, but then the Transformers line died out. And I and this is me, despite the fact I collected some Action Masters for the heck of it. So it wasn't, I think, and there was like a conscious choice to kind of keep away because then I kept telling myself that, oh my god, they're so expensive.
Yes.
And then I know statistically, if you looked at Lego, like it was more expensive here than if you were to get them in other countries.
Mhm.
They were particularly expensive for some reason. Um, and and because of that, then I just like I just gotta move on and just not collect Lego. And then every now and then I'd buy like small sets as an experiment. But then for the most part, I was consciously trying not to, which was painful. And then when I got money to actually collect Lego again, collect things on my own again, naturally I focused on Transformers first and like
Mhm.
getting into that classics line. So uh, yeah, I think so. Things only really like picked up again when Lego Dimensions came out
Mhm.
for the consoles, and this was that era where they were trying to make um, the whole toys crossing over into computer games work.
Yes.
Starting with like Skylanders and things, and I figured, hey, this is a great excuse for me to get small figures. It's a minifig with everyone. I already like the Lego. Oh, we should talk about the Lego games. I already
Mhm.
like the Lego games on console, and so it's more of that game, more of that puzzle adventure gameplay. And so yeah, let's do it. And I got most of the Dimensions line,
Mhm. We hunted
including
those down.
yeah, including ordering some from the US when they stopped coming in. But unfortunately, the whole play experience, whatever fad, just didn't work out, and then they killed Lego Dimensions. I have been afraid to boot up our copy on the PS3 in a while
Because it might not run.
because it might not work. Because I know this, it had a server and stuff for pulling things, um, and I still haven't built all the sets. I really have to take time. I don't know. I should like file leave and just because the only problem with the Lego Dimensions figures is that to build the vehicles, you have to play the game,
Mhm.
and the manual for the vehicles are in the game.
Yes.
Worse is that you have to also play and earn experience points to unlock the alternate vehicle modes. So each basic Lego Dimensions figure was a minifig and a vehicle for that minifig. And that vehicle would have at least three modes.
Mhm.
But the three modes were going to be have to be like um, we're going to have to be unlocked in game. And I
Mhm.
just really didn't have enough time to play through it all. Although like there was a Doctor Who set and it was super fun, and there's a Back to the Future set which is also
Mhm.
great. I mean, the admittedly, Lego tying up with IPs was amazing and painful because like when Lego when Lego Star Wars first came out, I'm like, oh my god, why am I not collecting Lego now?
Mhm.
It's like- and those sets were even more expensive than the regular
And
set.
it's really crazy how far the sets go now. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the lists that exist out there of the different sets that exist, I'm surprised to see names of IPs I did not realize had Lego stuff already. Um, okay, I lost this. I lost the page, but I had it earlier. Um, yeah, it's not loading. Ah, this is by year.
Well, Kenny, we're already kind of touching on the games and stuff. So let's rewind. Let's go beyond. Let's go back beyond Lego Dimensions and let's talk about the Lego console games. I mean, to
Mhm.
be fair, there were different Lego games before that, but then the the what was that company? TT was it? It's not Telltale, but it was like that was the name of that was the logo.
Mhm.
Two T's. When they started with Lego Star Wars, and that was just awesome, man. I mean, like the first Lego Star Wars game, I played through that, and I know I unlocked everything, and um, it was a local co-op game. I mostly played it on my own, and I was already happy with that. And
Yeah,
it was
TT
like
games.
I figured it was a
Traveler's
way
Tales.
Traveler's Tales. I figured it was a way to like I can't buy Lego sets. At least I can play this game where I
Mm.
feel like I'm playing with Lego. And I like the puzzle mechanic. I know for many it gets very repetitive that over and over it's
Mhm.
the same activity that you you unlock certain characters with certain powers, and the powers sort of slightly iterate across the games.
Slightly allow you to access different areas, slightly allow you to do certain things you couldn't do
Yeah.
before.
And then you always have to play through it once to like unlock a first wave of characters, and then you have to go over each level again now with these new
to
characters
find the golden
to
brick.
to unlock the other places, get the golden brick, get the red bricks for power ups, and I like doing that. And it takes so much time, and so more and more as more Lego games have been released, I haven't been able to finish all of them. And it's large. It's a part of the reason why we still own a PS3, because most of the games that I purchased for the PS3 were the different Lego games, and I am determined to finish them one day. And I
Sure.
like dragging Toby along sometimes to play, but I know it's not Toby's main gameplay. and then I feel guilty, like, because then I'm gonna be like, I want to play through it again because now we've unlocked the character, and I want to go through it, or I'm just very patient with like breaking every piece of scenery to collect every single
Thanks.
bit, so that I will have more money to buy things.
So, in terms of licenses, the list includes Avatar: The Last Airbender, Batman, Brick Sketches. I'm not familiar with.
Mm.
Brick Heads was the one where they used Lego to create the head pieces. Then you had Cars.
Yeah, there's a strong Disney tie-up.
DC superheroes. DC.
I love that
superhero
there's
girls.
DC and Marvel. That's funny.
And then there's Disney.
Nico asking if you can play. Yes, we can totally play Lego.
Mm.
The Lego game.
There's Galador.
I'd be glad to have help.
Ghostbusters, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Jurassic World, Minecraft, Marvel superheroes. There's Minions, The Rise of Gru. There's Mixels, Overwatch,
I haven't
Pirates of the
noticed Overwatch.
Caribbean, Prince of Persia,
Yeah, I remember the Prince of Persia set.
Scooby Doo, Speed Champion, Spider Man, SpongeBob SquarePants,
Yes.
Star Wars, Stranger Things, Super Mario, which has been one of the more
But some
recent
of
ones. that's
but some of
figured
these are like single set things, like the Stranger Things, because of that one double-sided
yeah, the house.
awesome set. Yeah.
But here it shows 3, so there's been 2 other things. that
Oh
came out.
wow. Okay.
Ninja Turtles, Angry Birds, The
Yeah.
Hobbit, Lego
Of course.
Batman movie. the
Oh, which
Lego
is like
movies,
different from Batman.
Yeah, Lego Ninjago movie, and then you have Lone Ranger,
You don't remember? There was a Lone Ranger set. It was strange.
Lord of the Rings, Powerpuff Girls, Simpsons, Toy Story, Trolls, Unikitty, Video,
And some of these are also because of dimensions.
Hmm. and you still have a bunch of others which include promotional. That's 485, and that's different.
I just think about the
licenses.
long-term like relationship with gas companies, hence the Exxon sets
Mhm.
and the Shell sets. And Shell has been like a supporter of Lego for like the longest time.
And then one of the more interesting things they came out with was their attempt to break into the board game market, where they started.
We have
releasing-
one. We have a Lego Star Wars board game. It's weird. It's like chess.
So they created these board games with this. I love the die, which allows you to customize the die and
Yeah,
I don't know.
but at its most basic, the die that they always configure it as is just solid color. So there's like a yellow side, a red side, a blue
Mhm.
side, and then you just do stuff. And I was kind of tempted to get more of these Lego
Mhm.
board games. We only got the Star Wars one, which its main claim to fame is that it's the assault on Hoth. So you have AT-ATs charging against snow speeders.
and their
In a
approach
chess style
and their
thing.
approach to games was quite varied. You had the banana balance one, which was a dexterity game because it had parts tipping over. You had games which were more tactical, like the one
Like our Star Wars one.
where you had to modify the die and you had to adjust your positioning. So it's just amazing. And then there's Creationary, which was basically Pictionary using Legos,
Mm.
where you had a timetable to build something. And of course, it was like so common sense to do a game like that, right? But they released it, so it's awesome. Oh my god, I just saw this now. The Cocorico game. Look at that.
Oh my god. Okay, that's strange.
But yeah, so Lego has really been amazing. And what was that documentary we saw that talked about Lego's history?
Wasn't it the Toys Who Made Us?
I think it was.
They
the
talked
Toys
about
and
Lego
Games.
there. And there's also like there are a few other Lego documentaries we watched together, and then there was the one about the building of the Lego house.
Hmm.
That
The museum,
that museum
with a tree.
yeah, all the and Nigel was just like feeling that frustration. The Lego board games are gone, and like I feel bad that we didn't take advantage and
I
like
think
get more of them.
I think many of them are still like Green Hills products now.
probably
You like,
probably.
you like see them now there. in
But
their
that, oh my
shops.
god, this I mean the secondary market for Lego is worse than buying them retail. They're just crazy expensive. And when I look at it in comparison, I end up saying, wow, Transformers are super affordable compared to getting some Lego stuff.
Yeah. So Leviathan mentions Lego Heroica, which I believe was another thing which caught me by surprise regarding Lego. They really came up with a lot of their own IP. Everything from the Aqua Riders, Alpha Team, Dino Attack, Exo Force, the Legends of Chima, which was very tempting for me because they had those figures that had nice wings and animal heads and stuff. Ninjago wasn't so much. It didn't really catch my eye.
But it but
This is very
they
popular.
really committed to that line.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then what was that Lego line they had wherein it were giant figures, which they used a lot in Star Wars?
Isn't that the Bionicle one?
Yes, the Bionicle
That's
ones.
Bionicle.
That
Okay.
was an interesting.
Noel
mix.
asking, what was your hardest build?
Hmm.
Lego builds don't feel hard to me. They just take time.
Well, the most meticulous one would still be the Technic crane.
Okay,
Because
that's fair because it had pneumatics.
It had the pneumatic for the claw, which was different from the pneumatic for the arm,
Yeah.
and then it was different for the pneumatic for the vehicle itself. So I remember that being the most complex one. But in terms of being the hardest thing we tried to build, that would be when we obsessed over masks.
Mhm.
We wanted to make them transform the way the cartoons did.
Oh my god.
So we had, of course, I forgot the name of the red car, which is just opens the door and it's wings, right?
Yeah.
But I was determined to do the Viper.
Which one's the bike?
If I remember correctly, wasn't the Viper the helicopter jet?
Oh, was that Condor?
No, the bad guy, the purplish blue one. Was it Viper? Was that the name?
But the main
Yeah, the main
vehicle
villain.
of Max Mayhem.
Yeah,
Okay,
the main
okay,
villain.
that one.
Condor was the green helicopter motorcycle, right? So I was determined to do that, and I remember we were struggling to find a way to make it work. We did, however, succeed in making their masks
Okay, that's cool.
because we'd remove their heads and then we'd craft the mask with the pieces and then we'd slide it into place.
Okay, so instead of the head, it was
Yes.
full on bricks. Okay. Noel's like, remember the Lego movie came out? They sold the minifigures per piece. It was sold at random surprise when you tear open the packet, addict to get one you want. I am impressed at the people who can tell what minifig it is by feel.
Mhm.
And you see those people practically molesting the blind bags in
Yes.
stores, and they can identify key pieces that make it easy to identify which one it is in a set. I do not understand how people do this. My I guess in recent history, my most complex build was the Lego Voltron build,
Yes, I was about
which
to
I
say.
got. But it wasn't like super complicated. It was just lots of steps. And I was very impressed that you could have the individual lions, they can turn into the limbs without like blatantly reconfiguring. I mean, like it would transform.
Mhm.
And then that just connected well. I have been for many years super tempted to get the Lego Death Star, but it's always whenever I look at it, adult me steps in and says, "Where the hell are you going to put the Death Star?"
Mhm.
Because it's a giant ball with so many interactive scenes, and thus I have never invested.
Mhm.
But like that's like when I saw that, oh my god, I super want that set. I super want that set. And it's like officially I had not purchased any Lego Star Wars sets for myself. And that was one I super wanted. But adulting has kept me from doing so. And I still haven't really bought some. I have bought a few other sets, mainly specialty ones. So like I got the Doctor Who TARDIS set, and then I got
Back to the Future.
the Back to the Future DeLorean,
Yeah.
which turns into 3 different DeLoreans
Mhm.
by swapping out some of the pieces, which is cool. It doesn't turn into the train, just the different versions of the DeLorean. But then that's it. And then there were like a few other
Yeah,
one-off
the robot.
things. Well, that was because it's K2SO,
Yeah.
and I have a Bionicle style K2SO, and
Mhm.
he's just fun. I look at him and I can hear him complaining. But yeah, that's something a project. So one is okay. Now I'm like, as this episode's happening, number one, I promise I'm gonna fire up Lego Dimensions this year by hook or by crook and build those sets. And if it's not gonna work, I'm sure I can look online and find the instructions for the sets. I'm gonna open up all those sets that we have. I have Powerpuff Girls, guys. There are Powerpuff Lego Dimensions figures that I haven't opened. There's additional Batman stuff.
Mhm.
And these things. Mitch is like Lego minifig available at 7-Eleven. Oh my god. That was one of the things, like it was in my Tobie and I were together period, and then I said I'm not gonna buy Lego, and then he started getting me the Lego sets from Shell. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. I gave them to Nico. They're the pre-built cars for like the complete set of Lego cars from Shell, at least for that particular year.
Mhm.
So that's okay. I was happy to build them. I'm happy to pass them through. So yeah. Now in terms of my justification, which is my justification for Lego now is like I can buy Nico Lego and it's sort of mine. I don't get to build them. I let Nico build them, but then I feel like I have some accountability. Then it's an extension of my collection. Nico's like, I want to see the sets. Can I open the boxes for you? I opened them and I built them. So the Doctor Who TARDIS is built, and then I partially disassembled it to fit it back in the box. And then the DeLorean I also built, and then it's actually assembled in box. So I next time we get a chance to show you, I will show you. Or I could bring it up. I can bring it up. Wait, the DeLorean is easy. Oops.
Is it there? Oh, careful, you're judges.
There. Here you go. Yeah. Ooh, it's shaky. I can hear the movement. Because it wasn't that big. See, look. Ta-da. Lego DeLorean. It does have swing up doors. Wait, let me. So the doors swing up. And then, like, of course, the wheels move under so that you can fly. And then, depending on, so this configuration is the classic DeLorean. So I have little accessories like the Mr. Future thing that you can stick on the back as the power angle. Oh, it included these transparent pieces so that you can mount it flying. It had extra like janky wheels because when in Back to the Future 3, they mounted it on the train tracks so that you could swap these wheels out. It has this extra plate of doohickeys, which what you would do is you would connect it to the front because in Back to the Future 3,
they jury-rigged
the engine. So it's designed to slap onto the front also. And you get Marty with a skateboard, but it's like a normal skateboard. Because there's no point in giving him a flying skateboard. And then like all these extra pieces, like I have an extra license, or you can't see it, but it's the out of time license plate, which depending. Oh,
you can replace one of them.
Yeah. Because right now I forgot I left the future barcode plate on it, but it should be the other way. It's a very it's a very cool set. I was very happy with this. I was tempted to get the Stranger Things one, but again, adult me says that is too big. That set is like it's a massive.
It's a house and it's under upside down.
Yeah, it's the upside down world and it flips beautifully. So my compromise has been the Lego Dimension sets that we have to build. Oh, that's what you were meaning about that. Yeah, we can totally build the Lego Dimension together. Yeah, I'll put this back. Tobie, fill time.
For those who are interested to see what other people have cooked up for Lego, you can look at ideas.lego.com. You'll see there in that website a lot of people coming up with their own models. And people are, yeah, I was warning you about that.
Yeah, it was fine until yeah. Anyway.
So people are able to build their own sets, and other supporters can vote which ones they like. I think Voltron started out somewhere here
Yeah,
too as well.
Voltron was an idea set.
And when people, the response was huge, it became something that was released. So you might find it interesting to check out. I've been looking at it, and some of them look really awesome. Um,
Things like the Friends set and the like were
Started there as well.
ideas creation.
So one of the ones that really, really looks interesting is the Hyrule Castle set, which is of course inspired by The Legend of Zelda. And oh boy, it looks really pretty. There's a new Karate Kid wax on, wax off set, which is basically the house with the cars and the boat. There's the Sesame Street set, which,
oh my god, the Sesame Street set looked really beautiful.
but it's not yet official, right? Or has it been
It's
approved?
been I think it was up for pre-order already. I'm missing a piece.
Okay, take your time. It might be there. Just fan, electric fan inside the there. So you can check out ideas.lego.com to see other stuff that people have come out with. I'm also eternally envious of a friend, Budget, who actually works at Lego. So it's such a dream job to have. But I know I wouldn't last in that type of a job because I just am not technical enough to be someone who could come up with good ideas for Lego. Because there are considerations in doing a good Lego model in terms of structure, in terms of what was the word when the studs are always pointing out? So you build it in that way so it's not
I
smooth.
forgot. We watched the Lego
Yeah.
Masters reality show, which is quite fun. Weird choice of host, but then they had to balance out the fact that the Lego experts that they brought in were quite dry.
Mhm.
And I lost it. But then yeah, so I got flustered when I almost lost a head. But it's okay. But very briefly.
That is Rocky digging more stuff out from our stuff.
Yeah, because so then there's like this weird Batman which I don't understand, and there's a Knight Rider Lego Dimensions guy. There's Adventure Time Lego Dimensions. Studs not on top. Excellent. And look, it's a full like Batman and Robin. Well, it's a Batgirl and Robin alternate playset. So I got a bunch of these that I haven't built.
Yes. So yeah, it's Lego's been really part of our lives in so many ways. So the weapon stuff there was a time I was at war
Oh my
with
god, you haven't told your weapons.
with people in the household. So I used Lego to create traps. And one of the key traps I had was to quietly remove the bed sheet, put lots of pieces.
That sounds terrible.
And then put the bed sheet back.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was war back then when we were kids. So we had a lot of stuff like that.
That is terrible.
Thankfully, we knew better, but yeah, weaponized Lego was something we realized was very painful.
Oh, I will cite one random thing. And look, I just have these things sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
When did this get innovated? This multi-tool, which they include with many sets now,
Is amazing.
is amazing. It is a lever, a wedge with just two studs so that you can attach the piece
And then pry it out.
And then it has the part
Technic.
here, it's the Technic gear or the wheel
So you
gear.
can push things
So you
in
could
or
push
out.
things out because there's a lot of sets that let you put a Technic rod that
Mhm.
fits just exactly for a certain portion,
Mhm.
and this is a way to reset. And it's like, oh my, when I first saw this, I'm like, what the hell? But it's awesome. I feel like this is the most amazing Lego innovation since that the thing that you store bricks like a vacuum, that you would run the wheel over
and it
and it
collects
would
the bricks
and it would
in.
just gobble it into it. I always wanted one of those things, just for the heck of it. So my main guilt always with Lego is just that when you give me a bucket of bricks, I'm not the most creative person in the world.
Mhm.
I always feel I didn't really build interesting things. I think I think in terms of squares, rectangles, and very solid stuff. Like I'll make bricks into walls. Wow,
Mhm.
innovative. And then I could make them fairly decent to support one another.
Mm.
But then when you look at like those reality shows or even just people that make things on their own, I cannot imagine
I
how.
had a religious phase with Lego. So I would use Lego.
Religious phase.
Yeah, I don't know. I would create relief sculptures. So you know how in the church you have a wall, but the wall has parts jutting out and it becomes the crucified Christ, or it becomes a
Oh my
statue.
gosh.
So I used to do that because I was so fascinated how you could use the bricks to create these three-dimensional sculptures, and the choice of brick and the color could affect the overall look.
Mm,
And then it would be a flat surface on one side, but then when you turn it, it's suddenly this 3D sculpture. And I remember doing a lot of that in the past.
I love this. Nigel's saying it's that versions of this have can go way back to the 90s. I don't remember getting it, but yeah, I think it was more because they were in the bucket sets, and I didn't have them in the.
Yeah, I never had the
When
bucket
you buy
sets.
presets, then they're not really there. Um, but yeah, this little axle thing is pretty cool.
Separator daw yung tawag.
Yeah, because
It's for to
it's most
separate
basic is the
pieces.
wedge, and it's like it's designed to be it can fit the flat pieces,
Yeah.
which I think is super awesome. I mean, I was never very technical in terms of like describing the pieces and like knowing what it is. And then, oh my god, my Lego Voltron is actually missing one piece, and I haven't invested sufficient time to source a replacement because it's literally it's a 1x2 piece that merges into a single stud
Mhm.
because it's just to hold a freaking flower that was painted gold to be his belt. So if you study my picture of Lego Voltron closely, you will see that he's not wearing a belt. He's naked there. Oh, while we're here, segue. There was a time that Hasbro experimented because when Lego lost the patent on the Lego brick, then
Mhm.
everybody could make their own
Yes.
compatible brick toys. Hasbro eventually decided to get into this game. And then I figured I can compromise because now it is official Transformers doing building brick toys, which are called Creo.
Mhm.
Why is it called Creo? I have no idea. I mean, like, they're probably pushing creativity with a K, just like Mask had a K, but it wasn't awesome. And then I bought a few of them, particularly the ones that could transform. Although I felt some of the transformations were cop outs because you would have to remove bricks to complete transformation. So it wasn't just reconfiguration. I got a lot of their blind bags and their minifigs, and Hasbro was much more generous with their blind bags because there were barcodes. And if you could just read the serial number on the barcode, you would know what figure it is. So it was very easy to build up complete sets. I had a few Star Wars ones. They had the Star Wars license at the time before it went to Mega Bloks. And then I got so many of them. I have them in storage. That's about it. I bought Lego base plates to put them on display, and then I put them in storage. So I'm kind of happy with the Creo line. I haven't decided to get rid of them, even though they're mostly just gathering dust. They weren't the most brilliant Lego pieces out there, but Lego style things, but they're fun. I think I still, in terms of complexity and interesting nature of build, I would still aim for like the Spirius robots from the late 90s, early 2000s. Those were good robots. And I don't have them all anymore.
I actually can't find a website for Creo.
It's gone.
The line's gone.
They killed the line na. They killed the line, and eventually that's why the Star Trek franchise moved from Creo to
Mega Block.
Mega Bloks and things like that. Mega Bloks is interesting because they have become like super IP city, and I knew we should have paid more attention when they already had like
Call of Duty,
Halo
and yeah,
as
Halo.
franchise partners. Because then even they even have their own Ghostbuster sets, even though Ghostbusters also has Lego.
Yeah. Now they have He-Man,
The
and it
He-Man
looks
stuff
so
looks
good.
really good.
It's scary, good looking.
But again, it relies on like their version because Mega Bloks minifigures are kind of big. they're not mini, which I guess is fine because they're trying to distinguish themselves. But it's very tempting, and I'm just oh my god, they have Pokemon.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's no, it's a more complicated looking Pokemon.
So yeah, so brick, all these building toys are always super tempting, but I always because we barely have space for all the board games. My Transformers are already like all over the place. My Star Trek ships barely have enough storage. I can't afford to do Lego, so I'll just buy a Nico Lego. But some of my current frustration with Lego is that these 3-in-1 creation sets where they distinctly tell you that this set can be used to build three different things, and the instructions tell you how to build the three different things. It's such a simple innovation, but I super love it, and I keep staring at these things and like, oh my god, I really want these space shuttle ones or the theme park related ones. Because before to be fair, in the original Lego sets, there would be pictures on the back of
Yeah.
alternate things you could build, but there would be no instructions.
Yes. You would be.
You would just have to figure it out. And I didn't like that. Because I follow instructions. That's how I do it. And I only wanted to build following instructions. My only other quirk now is that in recent years, when I was trying to build Lego again, was that I got very obsessed with the way that the word Lego is oriented on the individual bricks. And sometimes you'll have pieces that you have no choice; it's going to be upside down. Fine, but then I'd largely like I would designate that there is an up and a down, and then also on the horizontal axis there's sort of an up and a down. And as much as possible, I align the word Lego every time consistently, depending on the configuration of the piece, and it just drives me nuts. It just absolutely drives me nuts. It's fascinating to think that the current Lego line actually is very conscious of economy of bricks. So there's a distinct effort by Lego creators to not create too many original bricks anymore.
Yes, they don't want to
Increase
expand
costs.
on the specific unique bricks. They want to find more ways to do what you want with the existing brick.
Yeah, so it's kind of fascinating, and you end up with like very interesting ways that people reuse bricks, even in the official sets. And if you watch the Lego Masters competition, I think they give you a lot of all these weird Lego building terms and like whatever the gribble stuff, and it's fascinating. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're done. I don't know what else you want to say.
I guess to close, there's Legoland.
Okay, I've been long-standing plan because Legoland's in Malaysia, but you can take a bus from Singapore, and I go to Singapore. Well, normally I go to Singapore a lot for my sister
So
and
the
work.
temptation to be able to just slip there and
We
visit.
we kept saying that we'd make a day out of it. We plan a trip to Legoland, and I know intellectually on like a adult brain level
that it's really meant for kids.
it's really meant for kids. It's not going to be a very exciting theme
But
park.
who cares?
But I want to go.
I mean, it's just like Disney in Hong Kong.
Yeah, because Hong Kong Disneyland
Disney
is
is
not
really
the
for
best
kids.
Disney.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a Disney for everyone. But we still go. It doesn't matter.
I've never been.
So, yeah, just to be able to walk around and be surrounded by what looks like Lego, why not? And well, we'll have to wait and see when we can.
Yeah, when it's safe to travel again. But
To
yeah,
close-
I definitely want to visit Legoland.
To close, what would be a Lego set you wish would come out?
Oh, I should have. And this is like a classic question to ask, and I should have prepared for this. Okay, On a side note, for people who have visited the house recently, McFarlane Toys did their own building toys, and so I have a bunch of Steven Universe
Mhm.
Lego style sets. Careful. Oh man, I'm all sneezing now because of the dustiness of the. So look, it's Garnet playing her video game.
And
Beat the meat.
the figure, which is awesome in dimensions, is because they went for extensions to the Lego figure.
Yeah, it's like pseudo minifig legs, and then they put rods on there, which is like smart. So these are cute. Although I'm annoyed that this is a piece of cardboard
Yeah.
and a sticker, and these sets make a lot of use of stickers, so they're really not meant to be disassembled. They only create one thing, and then
There. Rose. The lighting is really bad.
yeah, it's rose quartz, guys. She's standing on her little crystal base. It's a solid piece. They're not the most exciting builds. There she goes. But they're cute. They're super cute. And I'm so glad to have gotten them. They don't feel like Lego, but they're supposedly Lego compatible. Yeah, I don't know what that sound was either.
Okay.
Book na. Hawa. But yeah, we'll definitely make a trip out of it. Don't worry. Whether we go together or alone, there will be at least one trip. I think Nico and Noel, sure, that we'll all go and see Legoland. I'm gonna sneeze now. The main problem with Lego is that they're super dusty.
What was that sound?
I don't
Something
know.
clattered.
Something
when the rose
shifted.
fell.
Yeah. But then ideal set.
Or like a set that you wish would be created because you haven't seen it done well or you haven't seen them do it yet.
I want like an expert level, like architecture level space shuttle. I've always been obsessed with the space shuttle Lego builds. There have been different Lego. I had one before. I had one of the smaller Lego space shuttle builds. But I'd like one in the same level of detail as like what they did for the Apollo. I think it's Apollo 11, the Saturn rocket. They did a Saturn rocket master set. I would love a space shuttle set, and I know the space shuttle program is dead, but I guess especially for our generation, like for the longest time, space travel was associated with the space shuttle.
Yeah,
and then I'd love to see a set that would be super detailed like that. That would be nice. But it'd have to be a full like shuttle, booster rockets, the whole thing. And I don't even need a gantry. I just want a super detailed shuttle. But I guess you'd need something to put it on.
So it's sort of like a masterpiece in the sense that you can open this.
Yes.
You can open this and see the pilot compartment.
And then it has the cargo bay with a payload and maybe like their toolkit. And
a space arm that extends.
Yes. And it'd have to be minifig scale, which makes it pretty big. Makes it pretty big.
I would want a Nausicaa Lego set.
Oh, Ghibli.
Yes. So you'd have the large
Omu.
You have the glider.
Oh my god. This is of course you think in terms of dioramas.
Yeah.
I just think in terms of like a mechanical.
And then you have the God Soldier. Which might be just the head with the mouth open and it's a gun. And that's the set. And it would be great to have
check
that
Lego ideas
because that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm more afraid to check because that will get me started on. Mega Bloks has aliens, okay, and I've been resisting the urge, but that He-Man set is so tempting.
I feel the same way about Eagle Moss. I'm invested for the Star Trek ships, and I keep thinking that they're gonna run out of Trek ships sooner or later. They haven't, and then I'm tempted. I keep seeing like there's Battlestar Galactica and there's Aliens also, and there's Doctor Who, and I haven't the heart to spread out more because it's driving me crazy enough to keep up with the Star Trek one. So priorities, guys, priorities. Can only buy so many things. I can't even display them all. Separate. Separate.
Okay, I guess that covers our topic for tonight.
Yeah, because I have to wash my face now because digging up but I might play Dimensions like right after this. as if the controllers are charged. I've also, it's funny, Nikki mentioned much earlier when he was on the show that his Steam dilemma was because of the Lego Avengers set. I've also like repurchased most of the Lego games for Steam
Mhm.
because
That it might not run in the place.
it might have run on the PlayStation. I want to make sure I have them. But then I
Mhm.
want to play them on the PlayStation to get the achievements, even though my PSN account is like super not active.
Yeah, Noel, it's not Lego. Look, Mega Blocks Pokemon.
Yeah, Lego Blocks Pokemon.
Actually, to be more specific, it was Mega something.
Oh my God, Noel's like he's buying Yoda and the Voltron set na tuloy. Oh.
Careful, careful, careful. Okay, I got the crush.
It's okay. So Voltron's kind of awesome because again, like let me detachable. They used solid Technic studs. So these are two Technic studs that connect to this beautiful swivel joint, and it's on a full wheel rotation. So
And look at that face. Look at that face. That poggy face.
and it's like it's on the scale of a transformer because then it's like so you can just move the legs out and he's going to be in lion mode properly.
Which you can pose nicely.
Yeah. I think my only complaint was that they did not find a Lego way to make the weapons from the original Voltron set.
Mhm.
But that's okay. But see, look, no belt. It's not wearing a belt.
But there, each of them.
Sorry, it's dusty.
Yeah, there. See, so the lions.
And they all open up. Rawr.
Then you have the shield.
As someone who once owned the original Voltron Lions, I'm happy to have this instead. Oh God, the build on this part was beautiful. I mean, it's super detailed, but it's like it's this stupid cross piece. I love it.
No,
I love
stop it. Stop.
But yeah, then the sword is very heavy for the arm, so you cannot like hold it up. You're gonna have to like really like
Yeah, the figure itself can't pose. The lions can.
yeah.
And then there, look at that intricate back.
The back is beautiful actually. It's very very clean. I mean like, and there are some pieces I had not seen before, which I think were like Star Wars pieces and stuff. There are these very smooth ones that came out in the set. But yeah, it's very nicely solid. He stands on it.
And the cats have weapons, right? For them
No,
to fight
not
on?
for this set.
They didn't have
Yun
it.
nga, that was my frustration that they didn't build the set. Oh, it's like classic the wings fold back so that when he's Black Lion mode, then it's there. So that's that oscillation. Yeah. So definitely a super awesome set. So hi Noel, congratulations on your inevitable purchase of Lego Voltron. This is actually a Christmas gift.
Waiting for my supplier.
This is actually a Christmas gift from my sister, but honestly, I was prepared to buy it for myself at the time.
Mhm.
So, oh my god! And then the wing, the head transforms properly, like oops, sorry, I knocked something out. It will toggle, but yeah, you have to do some reassembly. Oops, for the face. The eyes are always so subtle. Ah.
Yeah, peace.
That's the. Oh, and is there one more? Ooh. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. Here.
Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. Yeah, this goes first. That's it. Then
Sa taas.
this is.
Parang sideburns.
It's super great. And then like but yeah, you can just pop out the lions and they still work.
And it's
So
heavy.
it's heavy. And it was huge and it fit my luggage. I don't know how. Yeah. So now it's just like I just invest in very strange tie-in Lego. That's more expensive, even more difficult to pose and store, but that's fun. That's the adult life.
Yeah, Mega Constructs is the one with the Pokemon. So,
Mm.
and many other brands. It even had a Ninja Turtles one, which kind of reminds me of the Bionicle style
Mm.
posable figures. So that's our Lego episode. Is there anything we missed?
I
We
wanna
had the
play
video
a
games.
I
We
wanna
had the
play a
board
Lego
game.
game now. So
We talked about the movies briefly. Well, we didn't really talk about the movie so much, but we just mentioned it. We talked about the TV reality show that it had.
I
Um,
super enjoy. Okay, but quick segue is that I really enjoyed the Lego movie
mhm,
because the humor was like super on point. Um, I liked the Lego Batman movie too. It was just over the top,
mhm.
ridiculous.
The ridiculousness of the Batman movie, I think, made it feel more distinct.
Yeah,
Because if it didn't have that ridiculousness, you'd have that dissonance of this is a serious Batman movie, but it's Lego.
yeah. Lego movie 2 and the Lego Ninjago movie were not as great.
Yeah.
Definitely not as powerful.
Mhm.
Um, it's still the first Lego movie, and Nico's like he'll take that home one day. No.
Yeah, he will if you are giving us the Death Star as a gift.
Or you leave the International Space Station here with me. It'll just be here on the dining table.
Naglilipat.
Okay, and then it will be in every Baduy Pride episode na hi from the space station. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. That's about it. I think we'll give everybody back their night because I want to play. I don't know. I'm gonna have to download a Lego game and play it. I don't even have a controller for my laptop. I don't know if you can play it on Steam. I think
That should work. The PlayStation controllers should work.
I don't know if
It's
my
just that-
nose is going to handle playing what's this? Playing Dimensions tonight.
Whether it's playing on the or playing on the laptop, the controller should work.
Ah, yeah.
I think it was just a Untitled Goose Game that had some trouble with the controller.
Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, but I guess that's it. My wrist is hurting. But that's all the time we have for Lego, and we had a lot of fun. We hope you'll
We
join
have
us
to
again next time.
separate, guys. If you have questions or suggestions or for future episodes, fill out the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Pride Ideas. You can follow us on Twitter, all Tobie No Shade, RG Sunico.
You can also check out our blog, baduypride.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below. Help me figure out what my first Lego set was. I think I am now too young. I was too young at the time to remember because I was building a classic space set at age 3.
Mhm.
That is not appropriate age rating.
You would have swallowed the pieces if you were someone else.
But yeah, I don't. I would,
But you're not.
I'm not that person. All right, and then be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky,
And I'm Tobie.
and this is Baduy Pride. Have a good evening, everyone.